Joining me right now, Arizona Congressman, Democrat Ruben Gallego. Congressman, welcome back to the broadcast. I know you've been very outspoken on Twitter about all this in Charlottesville. You even called out the president directly. So what's your take?
Well, my take is pretty simple. These group of neo-Nazis, white nationalists, have been encouraged and have come out of the closet since the presidency of Donald Trump. And when President Trump refused to basically outright call them what they were, call them terrorists, call what happened yesterday a terrorist action, it only encourages more. If you actually see some of these white nationalist websites, they actually are praising the president because they have interpreted his lack of condemnation as a way to prove that he still has, they're still in his favor. And this is going to continue. And the fact that he not only won't come out and speak, he actually has opened the White House to some high-level ranking white nationalists and Nazi sympathizers within his administration, only is going to continue pushing this further and further.
All right. Well, you've referenced that speech yesterday. Let's listen to a small part of that right now. Here it is.
Above all else, we must remember this truth. No matter our color, creed, religion, or political party, we are all Americans first.
Is he wrong on that, or do you agree with him?
No, he's not wrong on that. Where he's wrong is that the way that white nationalists, or the way these neo-Nazis work, is that you need to actually openly condemn them, because they're out there recruiting and talking to young men and sometimes women that really are on the edges of society, unemployed men, men that really have no careers going for them. And when the president doesn't outright condemn them, it only encourages them to join this, weird and un-American movement. The president had an opportunity to be presidential, and he absolutely blew it. Unlike many other Republicans, senators, members of Congress, Republican members of Congress, Republican senators, that outright called and said that this is not acceptable. The alt-right is a Nazi movement, and it's not part of our American values. The president did not do that, and I don't think it's a coincidence.
We had former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke also weighing in on the events of yesterday, reiterating his support for the president and reminding, as he said this, that it was white Americans who put you in the presidency. He's speaking there to Donald Trump, not radical leftists. So what has the Trump administration done to encourage white supremacists? Well,
look at who's in his administration. You have Stephen Miller, who is regarded within the white nationalist movement as being akin to all of them. You have Steve Bannon, who's the head of, was the head of Breitbart, which actually helped stoke a lot of this alt-right movement, started actually, and it only continues to push these racist themes. You have Sebastian Gorka, who is regarded as an actual Nazi in Europe. And that's only what I know off the top of my head. And we could even go further if you look at even Attorney General Sessions, who doesn't have a really good history when it comes to race relations. The way that this works, and especially in that sphere, it's not that the president has to outright say, I am a Nazi, or I am a Nazi sympathizer, or I am a racist. It's when he doesn't say something that actually encourages them, because they like the dog whistles. They know that their allies have to use dog whistles, and they continue to use that opportunity, again, to go and recruit.
So then, Congressman, what would you have the president do, and would you be willing to work with him to try to heal the racial divide?
Well, first of all, the president's the one who has the problem with the racial divide, so he should actually take it upon himself as a leader to start. And the president just has to say a few words and then do one or two actions. Number one, saying that white supremacy is against American values and is disgusting to the idea of America. Neo-Nazis and white supremacy has no place in American government. He should fire Bannon. He should fire Gorka. And go through the rest of the White House and administration in purging the rest of these neo-Nazi sympathizers. And then he should order the Department of Justice to investigate the neo-Nazi and alt-right movement. What occurred in Charlottesville was not an accident. This was planned. This is continuing to be planned. There are websites that have been stood up by these neo-Nazi organizations to help fund these men to get to these places because most of them are broke. Most of them are unemployed. They're basically organizing themselves like terrorist organizations, and the president should make sure that we investigate them like terrorist organizations. He should treat the alt-right movement and the neo-Nazi movement the way that he treats any occasion when there is a Muslim terrorist attack or something happens to anybody with people of color. Just look how he reacted
Yes.
with the London attack. He was so quick to jump on it, but when it came to his own backyard in Charlottesville, he was very tempered, and I don't think that's a coincidence.
Congressman Ruben Gallego of Arizona, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.